Good morning. Welcome to Quiet Echo. I'm Teresa Nikas. It's Monday, President's Day, and if you are listening to this in your car on the way to a mattress sale, I am going to ask you to pull over for a few minutes. Something happened Saturday worth talking about. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stood before the Munich Security Conference and gave a speech some are calling historic. He called America a child of Europe. He spoke of shared blood and shared battlefields. He told our allies the time had come to build their own strength, not because America was walking away, but because a friend who cannot stand on his own feet is not much of a friend. The Europeans gave him a standing ovation. The pundits spent the weekend arguing about whether it helped or hurt the administration. They missed the point. They usually do. The point was not the applause. The point was the principle. And the principle is as old as this holiday we have turned into a long weekend with coupons, self-reliance. George Washington understood it. He could have been king. The Continental Army would have crowned him. The country would have allowed it. He said no. He walked away from power, went home to Mount Vernon, and left behind a letter to the American people warning them about the things most likely to destroy the nation he had just built. Political factions, foreign entanglements, the slow death of civic virtue. He did not ask what the Republic could do for him. He asked whether the Republic would still be standing after he was gone. Abraham Lincoln understood it. He held a broken nation together with nothing but words and will. He buried a son during the war. He buried 600,000 countrymen before it was over. He never stopped believing the Union was worth the cost. Not because the government was perfect, but because the idea behind it was sacred. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. He said those words standing in a cemetery. He meant every one of them. These were not comfortable men. They were not popular, at least not the way we measure popular now. Washington was attacked in the newspapers. Lincoln was hated by half the country. Neither man governed by poll. Neither man led by what was easy. They led by what was right, and it cost them everything. Rubio's speech carried an echo of something both men knew. A free nation cannot be carried. It must carry itself. He told Europe to stop leaning on American protection as a permanent arrangement. He said it with respect. He said it the way a father talks to a grown child. I will always be here, but you need to learn to stand. Washington said the same thing 230 years ago. In his farewell address, he warned against permanent alliances, not because he did not value friendship, but because he understood what dependency does. A nation leaning on another nation forgets how to stand. A citizen leaning on a government forgets how to build. A generation leaning on the sacrifices of the one before it, without making sacrifices of its own, forgets what freedom costs. Here in Cedar Valley, the post office is closed today. The bank is closed. The school is dark, but the town is not idle. Lars Olson opened the hardware store at 7 this morning because Lars does not believe in holidays where nothing gets built. I drove past and saw the lights on. The flag was up. A customer was already inside buying lumber. Lars was not thinking about presidents. He was thinking about the shelf a man needed for his garage. But that is how Lars honors the day. He builds something. Caleb Mercer spent his morning clearing brush from the walking trail behind the town hall. Nobody asked him to. He is the mayor, and he says a mayor who will not pick up a rake has no business picking up a gavel. I watched him work for a while from my car. He did not know I was there. That is the thing about Caleb. He does the work whether anyone is watching or not. Dan Larson sat his grandchildren down after breakfast and taught them the Gettysburg Address, not because it was assigned, because he believes some words should live in a child's bones before the world tries to take them out. He told me about it when I called to wish him a happy holiday. He said his granddaughter asked what "shall not perish from the earth" meant. He told her it meant the thing Lincoln fought for can still die if we stop fighting for it. She is 9 years old. She understood. None of these men mentioned a sale. None of them scrolled for a deal. They honored the day the way it was meant to be honored, by doing something worthy of the men it remembers. The cable channels will spend today scoring Rubio's speech. Was it a win for the administration? Did Europe buy it? Will the Allies increase defense spending? They will argue about tactics and optics and miss the deeper question entirely. The deeper question is this: do we still believe what Washington believed? A free people must govern themselves? Do we still believe what Lincoln believed? The Union is worth the cost of keeping it? Do we still believe what Rubio told Europe on Saturday? Strong nations stand on their own feet? Self-reliance is not selfishness. It is the foundation of every alliance worth having. You cannot offer strength to a friend if you have none of your own. You cannot defend freedom abroad if you have forgotten what it demands at home. President's Day should make us uncomfortable. It should remind us how far the distance is between the men we honor and the citizens we have become. Washington did not need a holiday. He needed Americans willing to do hard things without being told. Lincoln did not need a mattress sale. He needed a country willing to pay the price of its own freedom. Here is what I want to leave with you this Monday morning. The post office is closed. The bank is closed. The government has given you the day off. What will you do with it? Will you spend it the way the world expects? Browsing, scrolling, sleeping in? Or will you spend it the way Washington and Lincoln would have hoped? Building something, teaching something, honoring something larger than yourself. Lars opened the store. Caleb picked up the rake. Dan taught his granddaughter words written at a graveyard 160 years ago. Cedar Valley is a small town. We cannot shape foreign policy, but we can shape the next generation. And that is where every free nation begins, not in Munich, not in Washington, but at the kitchen table where a man sits down with a child and says these words still matter. The holiday is ours. The question is whether we still know how to keep it. This has been Quiet Echo. I'm Teresa Nikas. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open.